Hey, Firefox here. The Mass Effect series. While not the first video game I ever played, that honour goes to Pokemon Yellow back in the late 90s when my dad surprised me by coming home with Pokemon Yellow, which is this exact copy that I have right here, as well as a Game Boy Colour. I never asked for it. I don't think I actually really showed an interest in Pokemon at all, but he just sort of came home with Pokemon Yellow. This isn't a story about that though. The Mass Effect series was the game series which spurred off a much more serious video gaming habit in me personally. While the Assassin's Creed series was the first game that I did actually spend a lot of time playing, most of the time I would just come home from school, I would put in my Assassin's Creed into my Xbox 360 and I would just play pretty much until I went to bed, actually. Also behind Pokemon as well. I used to play that pretty much all the time when I was at my nan's house. I would always have my DS or a Game Boy Advance on me and I would be playing Pokemon almost anywhere, at any time, but usually only at the weekends, but I did used to play Pokemon pretty much all the time. It's probably one of the games that I put probably most of the time into. Back on track. Mass Effect led me to play a lot more of other video game series, like for example Dragon Age, which I heard was similar to Mass Effect and obviously it was made by the same people, but it was actually probably the video game series that actually made me class video games and gaming as one of my main habits and my main hobbies, which has continued on until today, actually. Now, I don't have any video game capture software or have the ability to be able to have video game capture, otherwise I would do that. So you'll just have to deal with my mug while I talk about a topic which is quite close to me personally. Let's take a trip back in time. It was December 2010 and it was just after my 14th birthday. My mum kept calling me to come downstairs and for 2 to 3 hours I finally came downstairs. I was watching movies with my friend up in my bedroom and she kept on calling me. She said, come on downstairs, we've got something down here for you, we've got something down for you. I kept on, yeah, I'll be down in a sec. And then finally, eventually, I went downstairs after we finished watching Sky High, one of my favourite movies. And what I found sitting on the sofa waiting for me was a box in a big plastic bag, all wrapped up in birthday paper. And I opened the box up, or the wrapping paper should I say, and inside of it was an Xbox 360 and I had 2 games as well. I think it was Final Fantasy 13 and I'm not sure what the other one was, but either way I had 2 games as well. I didn't use it properly for a while. I sort of dipped into Final Fantasy 13 every now and then. I still haven't finished it now and it's been, 6 years? I just don't really have much of a drive to finish it if I'm honest. But it was a while until my mum's partner was down for the weekend. He lives further up north and he was playing Mass Effect 3. I had no idea what was going on and I was watching him play it and it was actually I can remember specifically what mission it was. It was the mission where you go to help Miranda with her sister and her dad, because her sister Orana had just been kidnapped, and he royally screwed up and Miranda died, and he had romanced her as well. Yeah, he was still making quite a few mistakes by then. He played it a few times. I was watching him play it and I was like, yeah, I quite like this looks pretty good. I'd watched him play it a couple more times. He said to me, do you want to have a go? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And he went, I'll put you into one of the little side quests and you can have a go and see if you like it. And I remember exactly which one it was, because I remember when I went and played Mass Effect 3 again, I did it and I thought, oh, I remember this. I can't remember the specific name of the mission, but I do remember exactly which one it was, and if I saw it, I could tell you that is the one. And I played this level and I did pretty well. I don't think I died once actually. And I thought, actually, yeah, I really like this game. I'd be interested in playing this myself. And the next time he came down, after that sort of level I did, he brought down a couple of games for me to try out and to borrow. and one of those was Mass Effect 2, because he didn't have the first one at the time. I later then bought that for him for Christmas that year, and I played it. I played through it, and I loved it. I really just loved it. Like I said, I just loved it right away. The opening grabbed my attention despite having no idea what was going on. Like, I was just, you know, I was just walking around and all of a sudden there's an explosion happening and then there's just like, it's on fire, the ship's falling apart, and I was like, what is going on? What is going on? I don't know what's happening. What do I do? What do I do? And I'm like running around and I'm thinking, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't know who was who. Like, you had to go and save Joker. I'm thinking, who is this guy? I don't know this guy. This is Kaidan. And I was like, who is this person? I have no idea who you are. And so I didn't really have the full effect of like the old faces from the first game because I hadn't played it. You know, like Tali, Garrus, Commander Bailey, although I think he was still Officer Bailey at the time. You know, Joker, all that lot. I had no idea who these people were. But that didn't stop me from just loving this game. I love the story, I love the characters, I love the combat. It was really quite a long game, which, you know, kept me going, like, playing it, like, for about 4 to 5 hours every day during the week, after school. You know, I just loved it. For the first time playing it, I didn't think I actually did that bad. I think I did pretty good, and I think I kind of got to grips with it quite quickly. Admittedly, when I did the first mission, the last mission, for the first time, I didn't have Legion or Miranda loyal because I chose to side with Jack and with Tali. Mainly because I prefer Tali and I prefer Jack as well, so I sided with them. Terry was the opposite, he sided with Tali and Miranda, but that's because he was romancing Miranda at the time, so yeah, it makes sense. Unfortunately, though, Mordin and Thane died, and I have to say I was actually really upset about that because Mordin is one of my favourite characters. He's funny, he's smart, he's kind of like a small child who's had way too much sugar, but is also a science prodigy. Like, that's what he was like. And Thane, I felt really sorry for him because, you know, he was, everything he went through, I mean, to be fair, I did kind of accidentally fail his loyalty mission, but, because I didn't realise what I was doing half the time, but he was still one of my favourite characters because he was just really nice. Like, and I really like nice characters. The final mission, every time I play it, and I think I've done it about 4 or 5 times now, but no matter how many times I do that final mission, it gets my heart pumping every single time. Like, I can literally feel it thumping against my chest, and I'm shaking, and it's like I'm on the edge of my seat every single time. No matter if I did it perfectly, I have everyone loyal, I put everyone in the right places at the right times, it doesn't make a difference. I will be on the edge of my seat, I will be worrying if someone dies, and I will just be shaking, and I can't even really explain it without sort of repeating myself all the time, because that's just what the final mission is like. The final mission is, in my mind, perfect. They couldn't have changed it in any way, really, because just so many things could go wrong if you don't do it right. And the first time I did it, I got it wrong. The second time I did it, I got it right, and everyone survived. And I was so happy. Like, it was that sense of relief and that just dread just comes off your shoulders when everyone's survived. You're there in the sort of cargo bay of the ship, everyone's there, you sort of look around all your crew members, and your crew members are like, hey, yep, we're all here, no coffins or anything, and then you just look out the window and you just see millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of Reapers, and you're just like, shit, the next game's going to be good. Up to you whether or not you liked the third game. After I finished Mass Effect 2 for the first time, I actually went out and bought all 3 of the Mass Effect games for myself. And I went back and replayed them from the very beginning. This is not the one that I bought the first time. I had to buy this one because my first copy, which is over there, the disc was a little bit scratched up, so it actually glitched. I'd get to certain points in the dialogue options and it would say, we cannot read the disc so you can't proceed any further, and it was actually getting to the point where I couldn't even progress in the story because of the disc being so badly beaten up. So I didn't realise Game did disc resurfacing at the time, so I just went out and bought another copy. Not that it actually sort of put me down or anything, but like this one works perfectly fine. And anyway, I completely replayed the series from the first one, replayed the second one, got everything right, played the third one for the first time, and I have to say, playing it from the beginning and just watching the story progress onwards, it's a lot better than doing what I did the first time and starting with the second one. And even my mum's partner agrees that playing it from the first game and then going onwards is a lot better, because there's some things in the first game, choices that you make, that won't really pay much mind into the second game, but sort of come into the third game. Not to the extent that a lot of people were probably hoping for, but they still kind of play even just a small part, and it's just sort of having that sort of control over it I kind of liked, because it was the first kind of game that I had or played that had kind of that sort of choice in it, which kind of spurred off the idea that I really do love multiple choice, like dialogue options, choices that you get in games. That's probably why I really like the Dragon Age series as well, and Fable and things like that. But it was completely worth it to go through the struggle of the awkward combat system and the awkward sort of just the first game has got a lot of problems with it, but I still really enjoy it. Like, the inventory system is, I hate it. I really do hate it. The combat is a pain in the ass to get used to, admittedly, but it was worth it because the story really, I just loved it. And the bit where you have to choose between Cayden and Ashley, just so hard to choose, but every time I do, I'm one of those few people that do choose Cayden. I don't know, I love them both, but I don't know, I just kind of, he's really sweet. Like, I really like him. But I don't know, obviously with the Mako as well, it's a pain in the ass to control, but it is kind of necessary at some points. And, sorry, I keep looking at it because they're down here on my bed, but I'm so glad to have played it from the beginning, because it is such a fantastic, and I don't really want to use the word epic, but epic video game trilogy, and I'm so glad I did sort of play it, because it does mean a hell of a lot to me, and it just holds a very special place in my heart. To be honest, I really cannot wait for Andromeda, because E3 was literally last week, and I watched the announcement trailer, or not the announcement trailer because obviously they announced it last year, or the year before, I can't actually remember now, but I watched sort of like the trailer they did for it, and it's gonna be good. Hopefully we aren't let down or anything, but if they do it right, it is going to be amazing. And, well, I think the trilogy worked really well as a trilogy, and it kind of wrapped it all up nice and neat in like a nice little package. Obviously there was a lot of questions left unanswered. It was quite sort of, I don't really want to say open-ended because it wasn't really entirely open-ended, but there was a lot of questions, and obviously the options that it sort of gave you at the end, but it did wrap it up quite nicely. It wrapped up Shepard's story. I'm going to have an unpopular opinion here. I didn't actually mind the ending. The first time I saw it, I was like, eeeh. But that was my mum's partner who played it at the time, and he didn't have the little extended thing, and we were like, what is this? But then when I went and played it from the start to the end, and I had the extended part of it, and I got to the ending, and I chose the Synthesis ending. Synthesis ending is the best ending in my opinion, because it just kind of gives everyone the best of both worlds, the pinnacle of human evolution kind of thing. I didn't mind it. It could have been a lot better, I will say that. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't great, it left a lot to be desired, but at the same time it did its purpose. It finished the story, it gave you an ending, a conclusion, an answer, take that as you will, but I didn't mind it personally. And I think Mass Effect Andromeda could open up this very vast universe that BioWare have created, and it could open the way to great storytelling opportunities if they take a leaf out of Dragon Age Inquisition's book. They don't have to have a completely open world. They could just have very big, detailed maps, maybe each with their own little individual stories, places to go that you have to go to for the story, places that you can go to explore more, get more resources, have more lore, storytelling opportunities, and things like that. And like, don't take everything from Inquisition, but just take kind of a leaf out of that book and adapt it for Andromeda's purpose, and I think it could be fantastic. And yeah, I just really look forward to it whenever it comes out. I'm sorry, I'm gushing now, but there's just so much I really just kind of want to say about this. So yeah, Mass Effect is a very important series to me. It is definitely up there with my favourite series, video game series, like Assassin's Creed, Dragon Age, Saints Row, Pokemon, Ace Attorney, Kingdom Hearts. The list goes on. Hopefully I'll get to talk about these games as well, and hopefully I will talk about them. I'll just have to sort of write something up about them. I don't know how my hands are going to hold all of the Assassin's Creed games, but I'll give it a go. Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do what all you people do. It doesn't really bother me. My Tumblr link is in the description, like it always is, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!